Hey everybody, Gary with Basecamp Trading. Let's take a look at the ES on the 30-minute chart. You can see in the London session, you had a bit of a push down. Went down in here, hit significantly undervalued, a couple bars in a row, and then left this really bullish hammer. Left a bottoming tail. The entire body of this bar was all buying. The next bar was also a very bullish trigger bar, opened right there at the bottom, closed very near the top, caused the 5 and 13 to cross to the upside, caused the fast line on momentum to cross back above the zero line, turned the histograms green. So this bullish hammer was being confirmed by momentum on our 30-minute chart. Another really bullish bar, opened at the bottom, pushed right up to the 50 EMA. We know the 50 EMA and the 200 EMA are always significant support and resistance. And as expected, kind of bounced off of it, left a little bit of a topping tail. But ES was determined to climb. Opened right here at the bottom, pushed up above the 50 EMA, and then pulled back down to it. Of course, again, we know that 50 EMA is often a sticking point, but actually closed above it, and then hit significantly overvalued, touched significantly overvalued right here. And then you can see that really the ES just kind of consolidated along the 50 EMA through the rest of the London session into the US session. Wouldn't sell off though, so it kept leaving these bottoming tails. Every push down left these bottoming tails and then just kind of hung out here at the 50 EMA. You actually had a bull flag set up, triggered, little push up. Again, we're going into the US session at this point, so not a lot of movement expected. We actually had another bull flag set up, triggered by a really bullish bar. This bar opened right here at the bottom, closed at the top, and this was the last 30 minutes into the US Open. But we, at this point, we're definitely looking towards the upside. Things were looking really bullish. 5 and 13 were already crossed to the upside. The fast and the slow line had crossed to the upside, and we're now above the zero line. When this bull flag triggered right here, you were triggering a bullish inflection. And then we had the U.S. Open, and as is often the case with the Open, you get a lot of whippy action, pulled down, but then left this big bottoming tail, followed by what ended up being a nice strong hammer. Left the bottoming tail. The entire body of this bar was also all buying, and this was our first 30-minute bar. Then it triggered with yet another really bullish bar, opened at the bottom, closed near the top. Not much of a topping tail, but a little one. Hit significantly overvalued. Again, we know when we hit significantly overvalued, we have three expectations. One, it's going to pull back. Two, it'll consolidate. Or three, potentially reverse. Usually what it does is pull back a little bit and consolidates if it's going to be a continuing move, which is what this ended up doing. We made a little pullback, consolidated, left the doji. Doji triggered to the upside, and then the ES just continued to climb throughout the rest of the morning. Came into the lunch session, kind of chopped sideways a little. Actually set up a bull flag. This isn't really a very good bull flag, but we did trigger a bullish inflection when we triggered that bull flag. Again, it's not a very good bull flag setup, but we did trigger a bullish inflection, made a push higher. Again, the 200 EMA, you could see sticking point, punched back above it. We actually had a target up at 34.29 and a quarter. I was kind of thinking maybe we would go up there and then roll over into the close, because the option chain was actually suggesting that we were going to finish the day lower. And you can see it had been a long time since the ES actually finished a day above the 200 EMA. I mean, you have to go back to last month to find a day that the ES actually closed above the 200 EMA. So we know that that is a significant zone. And of course, we were not able to stay above it. We punched up here to about 34.25, just under it. and then we rolled over into the close. Again, the option chain suggests that we were going to pull back a little, and that's ultimately what we ended up doing. Again, I was kind of looking for us to go up, maybe hit our 34.29 target, and then roll over into the close. But hey, things don't always work out exactly the way you hope they do, but close enough. We had a nice push up throughout the day, and then the rollover into the close. And again, the option chain was suggesting that we were going to get that. You could see that on ES right here, 3,400 was what we were looking for on the option chain, because we had a lot of put volume below that. We were kind of even Steven put and call on this side. We knew that we probably weren't going to go any higher than 34.20. Too many calls going to the money, and we were pretty sure that we weren't going to go much lower than 3,400, because I was going to put too many puts into the money. And when we were looking at it earlier, we were thinking 3,400 would be a pretty good place for that to close, and ultimately that's where that ended up pulling back to. But again, overall, a nice up day in the ES to start. Kind of a weak finish, but again, the option chain was suggesting that it was going to pull back. But a nice up day in the ES.